Now I am.
Cool. Okay. This is The Groove, the SRS blog, and today we're going to talk about crazy buyers. Tracy, who's right behind the camera there shooting this, has got some questions for us, and we're going to hook you up with the answers as to why sometimes buyers act crazy. So, go, Tracy, let us hear it.
All right, Jean, the first question is for you.
Sweet.
Why do you think buyers usually end up buying what they originally say they do not want?
That's a good question. I'll tell you why. Buyers go out and they have this preconceived notion of what they want, and it's this perfect house that they want. And everybody says, oh, you got to look online, and yes, that's the first place you find your house, online. But what you'll realize is things don't look the same in person as they do online. Now, your good agents like the SRS team, we make them look awesome online. We got photographers, we got everything. So, however, when the buyers, they get into it, it's just they start really truly narrowing down what's important to them and what's not by actually getting in a house and experiencing it. So it's kind of like driving a race car. If somebody says, hey, driving a race car is awesome, you just take their word for it. But until you experience it, you're not quite as enthusiastic about it. So when they go out and actually see houses, that's kind of how it goes. And that's why there's a difference in usually why they pick something else versus what they had in mind at first.
Okay, thank you, Jean. Scott, why do you think that most buyers do not understand the importance of selling their current home before they write an offer on their next home?
Well, that is probably because everybody gets more excited about buying something than they do selling something. It is an exciting time thinking and wanting new, and everybody gets focused on it, and usually they will end up finding that house and not being able to get it because they forgot that they had to sell the one that they were currently in.
You mean they forget, or they just didn't focus on it?
Well, it's a fine line.
It's a pretty big thing to forget.
That's right.
Oh yeah, I gotta sell mine.
It usually comes in as you're filling the contract out after the third showing.
Yeah. Another thing that is really important about that is if you write a contingent offer. Now, some of you are blessed financially, and it doesn't matter if you sell your house or not, you can still buy the other one, and that's awesome. We're super happy for you, and we'll take you out and write that up for you, by the way, too. but some folks do have to actually sell the house first, and what they forget is if you try to write, everybody says, oh, well, I can just write a contingent offer. Well, if your house is for sale and it's got a contract on it, great. That's really almost not like a contingent offer because you can actually put a close date on the contract. And when you're talking about giving somebody money, time is of the essence. So if somebody says, hey, I'm about to give you $100, you're probably going to be excited about that. And especially if they tell you when they're going to give you $100 because you're going to go spend that $100 on something. Well, if somebody gives me a contract that says I might give you $100 one day, but I can't tell you exactly when, I'm not excited about that. So when the seller gets that contract, they don't have a close date, they're not going to be real motivated to negotiate the best price for you because you can't even tell them when you're going to close. So let's focus on the task at hand first, which is getting yours sold. So anyway, that helps. Now, you put a close date on there, we're negotiating. We're taking money off because you're about to hand me money. And if it's $5,000 less and it's still going to be $500,000 and I know when, I'm good with it.
That's right.
What's the next question?
All right, next question is, why do you think buyers think it's okay to go out and look at homes before getting pre-approved?
Me?
You want me to take this one? I'll take it. All right. If I call you on a Sunday and you don't know me from Adam, and I say, hey, do you mind getting your family up and getting out of your house for a couple hours while I come look at it? You know, it's Sunday afternoon. I know you don't have anything to do on Sunday afternoon, so if you're laying there relaxing, watching the PGA Tour, and somebody wants to get you out of your house, is it going to be okay with you? If they can buy it, yep. If they can't buy it, and they haven't even gone through the process of getting pre-approved, they don't know how much money they can spend, they don't have their house for sale if they've got to have one, do you think it's fair to actually get somebody out of their house to go look at it when you can't even buy it? I wouldn't do that. That's kind of a non-courtesy thing. But Scott, something like that.
That's window shopping. It goes hand in hand with what the last question, and it's if you were selling it beforehand. Those are just steps getting to properly buying a home. It's if you go find something you want and don't get in it because you haven't done those steps, you'll be pretty upset that window shopping experience failed miserably.
Yeah. And if you've ever found something in the window you really want and you can't get it, it's frustrating.
That's right.
I went by Dick's Sporting Goods the other day. I walked by a driver. I couldn't have it. I was upset about it.
That's right.
So I need to sell a house.
That's right.
All right. You got any more questions?
All right, final question. Why do some buyers think they do not need representation?
That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
A lot of people believe that they can do everything themselves because, like Gene and I, we know if we can do it, we're probably the best candidate to get the job done because we know how we want it done. Well, a lot of people don't know the ins and outs of what we as real estate agents do, and it's a lot of behind the scenes work that as a client you don't really ever want to know. But we're also legally licensed to handle contracts and transfers of money and different things like that.
You mean you have to like go to classes and
You
get an
do.
education for what?
You have to stay with continuing education, which I've got to finish up actually for this year.
Well, does it even? I mean, does it matter? I mean, what can happen that goes wrong in a real estate transaction that they don't even see coming, or how can they save it?
Well, you can lose money. You can end up getting in a lawsuit, a legal battle. There are a lot, unfortunately or fortunately, buying a house is one of the biggest steps you can make in a life, and there's a lot of paperwork behind that needs to be handled properly.
Well, and there's other things that come up too that you know, if a house doesn't appraise, do you know the process to make sure it appraises, or do you just give somebody 10 grand because it didn't appraise? If something falls through, or do you know the mortgage process? Do you know the mortgage person? Do you know what to watch for to make sure things are continuing to go as they should? And another big thing is if you're actually buying a house and you're ready to buy a house, why would you not get a real estate agent? You don't pay commission to real estate agents. The seller pays all the commission. And most of the houses you're looking at are actually listed by an agent that there's a good chance they're really friends with that seller because that's their client. So why would you not want somebody representing your best interest when it costs you nothing? And it's basically like tapping into somebody's knowledge for free. It's free. F-R-E-E. Free. So Tracy, who's actually videoing this,
That's right.
has 12 years of experience, and she sells buyers. She sold them all. Crazy ones, smart ones, pretty ones, ugly ones. She's got it. So we have people to do that. But we've experienced, this video would get real long if I went through the long list of things that have popped up that were unexpected that we were able to handle and keep deals together. More often than not, those things happen. And for sale by owners just they don't seem to realize until they get so deep into it that they've got themselves in trouble that it makes sense to list with an agent. And buyers don't realize it until they've gotten into it, and then a problem happens and they're going, why didn't I have a buyer's agent? They wouldn't have cost me any money. Go get one. They're free. Just make sure you get a good one. We got one. So.
The buyer's agent also, at least our buyer's agent, is not afraid to work with the for sale by owner either. So it doesn't limit you in any sense of the real estate business or what house you can get. We as a buyer specialist or a team can work with everybody trying to sell their house, and we specialize in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is one of our first cool videos for the SRS team. We're a little laid back until we're working for you, and then it's on. So check us out. I hope it's informative. Like it, share it, follow our channel, do all the stuff to help spread the word about how good we're going to do for you because you're next on our client list. Thank you.
Thank you.